All right, Bosh, and we're in. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. This episode is all about how to dominate 2024. We're in that middle period now between Christmas and New Year. To be honest, I find this time of year quite annoying. Everyone's given up. No one wants to do any work. No one's interested in being talked to because they're just in this foggy haze of Christmas and New Year and eating, drinking, not really doing anything. Not for me whatsoever. So I wanted to do this podcast on how to actually get ahead for next year. And what's the really practical stuff that I use basically, and see whether it works for you as well. And it's just really about how the fuck do you actually get ahead? Because everyone this time of year, motivation's a little bit higher. New Year's Eve's coming in, everyone's thinking about goals, setting targets, and got aspirations for stuff. But the reality is 99% of people, 3 days into the new year, the goals are long forgotten about. Nothing's going to change. Everything's going to be the same as last year, same as the year before. Fundamental things have to change. If you want to get something new, or you want to go to a new level in business, you are going to have to do different stuff to get to that level. It is ridiculous and stupid to think that you can just do the same shit and get a different result. There's a saying about that, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It's never ever going to happen. So what I've got here is some really clear, easy, practical stuff to get your head around. So listen in and we'll dive in. So, if you set a real solid plan with basic action steps that you just have to do, you will hit goals. It's simple. A plan, a strategy doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Just a set structure of rules and targets and things that you just have to fucking do. That is what makes goals happen. It's that consistency, it's that dedication, it's that just doing the work that needs to be done day in, day out on the specific measurables, the KPIs of the business, whatever way you want to look at it. It's just doing them over and over again for a long time to make the goals happen. It is not about going to 0 to 100 mile an hour once and then not trying again. It is about just doing the steady eddies and working backwards to what's the set fundamentals you need to do every day to make your goals happen. If you have a solid set plan, the goals will happen. They will materialize. But if you don't set a plan, you're just not going to hit your goals. A fool sits there and goes, right, this is my goal, and does zero work on, right, what's the plan, what do I need to do, and then executes on that plan straight away. You have to just get to work straight away and get your little friend on your side called momentum, where you just start gaining traction because you're doing the work. So many people sit there and think about stuff, think about what goals they want to do, and overthink, making a move, but you have to fucking move. You have to start taking the steps now, but keep doing them. And I believe you have to tap into a different area of your life and a different drive to do that when you don't feel like doing it. There's always going to be days when you can't be asked to do shit. I get it regularly. Some mornings you wake up, you can't be asked to go to the gym. Sometimes you can't be asked to phone a customer. Sometimes I can't be asked to put a post on social media. Sometimes I can't be asked to have a conversation with someone. But that's life. That's the reality of it. But you have to do it because you know what is driving you. And we'll tap into that a bit more in today as well. So let's crack in. The first thing you want to do before you kick off into a new year is actually review the last year. You've got to look backwards to go forwards. You've got to objectively review 2023 and go, right, what actually worked for you? What actually worked for you? What did you do? What things did you do? Whether it's in the business, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's in the gym, whether it's in your relationship, whatever. What things did you do in 2023? And specifically for you, fuck everyone else, it's whatever you did personally. What did you do in 2023 that worked? What are the things that went well? What actually worked in the business? Where did the good customers come from? Where did the good jobs come from? What actually worked? What provided you with a result that's tangible and you can go, if we do more of that, we're going to get a much better result. And then you want to flip that and go, what do you actually regret from last year? What things do you know you did, you regret them, you wish you didn't do them, you fucked up, you made a mistake, you didn't handle something correctly? Go back objectively and look at all the goods and all the bads of the year. You have to do this. You cannot move forward unless you actually analyse what is going on with you. What's actually happening in the business, what's good, what's bad. What does a good sports team do? Any football team, once they finish the game, what's the very first thing all the coaches do? They review that game, they watch back the footage, and they actually analyse who played best, who did the best shots, who did the best crosses, who was the best defenders, what tactics did they use, what formation worked. They're scrutinising the whole game. They're reviewing it all. And before they even play the next game for the next team, they watch that team play. They see how they're doing and what they're doing and what they're getting up to. So you want to be doing the same shit for yourself. It's hard to do yourself because you've got to be objective and you've got to be a bit brutal to yourself because no one wants to admit that you've got holes or shortcomings. But it's the only way you will get ahead if you can objectively just actually sit down for half an hour on your own, no phone, no distractions, and actually just have a bit of pen and paper and actually just write down, right, what things did you do good? Literally an A4 page paper, line down the middle, what things went well in 2023 on one side and what went bad, what you didn't do well on the other side, and just review yourself. If you do that, that'll be the best half an hour you'll spend on yourself, without a doubt, because you'll just start seeing a pattern of things that you've probably done over and over again that are not getting you to where you want to be. So you've got to review first, and start looking at what's distracted you, because I'm sure as shit you set goals last year and some people would have hit them. And if you have, that's done. You're great. You know what you're doing. And you've got to set more goals. You've got to set bigger goals now. You have to set bigger goals. If you achieved your goals last year, you can't now sit there on your ivory tower, because you'll get complacent, you'll get bored, and you'll get distracted, and you'll start taking your eye off the ball. You've always got to set another goal to get to. Transversely, if you're in the other side of the camp and you didn't hit your goals, you've got to look back and go, right, what's been the distraction? Why have you not actually hit them? Without blaming anyone else, without blaming market factors, without blaming other reasons or other people, why did you not hit your fucking goals last year? Because it all stops and lies with you. Ultimately, everything is on your plate, it's on your shoulders. If you didn't hit your goals, it is your problem, it's your fault. You have to own it, review it, and work out where your distractions are and where your leaks are. Because I believe whatever you're doing day to day is either an investment or a distraction from your goals. You are either investing into achieving your goals or you are being distracted by not hitting your goals. Social media, prime example. A lot of people are scrolling social media every day, and you look at their phone time and it's hours and hours and hours. They're doing zero time of actually posting or commenting or actually putting stuff out there to win more work for the business, and complaining you haven't got the time. But you are spending the time on there, but in the wrong areas. I don't really scroll social media. I go on there to post stuff, to build relationship, to build my brand, and to do business ultimately with people, using it as a tool. So is it a distraction or an investment? You've got to look at that. Everything in your life, when you start spending time with people, is it an investment or a distraction? Are you spending your time with the right people or the wrong people? It is as clear cut as that, investment or distraction. You've got to review everything that you do with your time, because we've all got the same hours in a day. You can fucking make it up whatever way you want and say, oh, but it's all right for this person because they've got this and they've got that. We've all got the same hours in a day. We've all got the same hours in a week, a year. It's what you're doing with your time that's the biggest clear thing that's going to make all the difference between hitting your goals or not. And then just your choices day to day. So rate your own performance. Now, out of 10, how would you actually rate yourself in 2023? How well you performed? How was your marketing for your business? Rate it. How was your sales ability for your business? Rate it. How was your operational delivery for your business? Rate it. How was your sticking to what you said you were going to do? Rate it. How was your focus for 2023? Rate it. 1 out of 10. And be brutally honest. Don't fucking lie to yourself. If you've got ones or you've got tens, be brutally honest and go rate yourself, because you are the driver. This is the thing. You own a business and you're someone who wants more. You want to get ahead. You're trying to achieve big goals. It's just all on you. So you've got to be brutally honest and go, right, where are your holes? And you've got to start identifying where you go wrong specifically for you. Because I think a lot of people look for advice from people and they want a clear-cut blueprint, a set plan. This is how it works. If you do this, and do this, and you'll be a multimillionaire. It does not work like that. 90% of it is basically just you. It's just, what are you doing day to day? How are you operating as a person? And what's the substance to you? You can't give someone a defined, clear plan. Anyone who tells you can is conning you and bullshitting you. There are so many things you need to get right to be successful, to get things right in business. A lot of times you can do everything right as well and it still goes wrong. That's just nature of life and the way that shit fucking happens. So you can't have a set solid plan, but you've got to review, what are you doing? Because that's the controllable that you can control. You can control you and yourself and the way you're looking at things and how everything's going. So just rate yourself 1 out of 10 on those areas. And I think once you've done that, then they'll start giving you a picture of, right, what's good for you, what's bad for you, What things do you need to remove and what do you need to do more of? And then once you've done that stage 2 is actually working out what your fuel is. Because like I said, motivation, it will only last you so long. Motivation will let you down. There'll be certain times when you'll be motivated to do stuff, but that motivation will dwindle, it will disappear. It's not there for the long haul. So you've got to tap into a fuel you've got inside of you that's going to push you when you can't be asked or things get very difficult. You've got a massively stressful situation in your hands. You've got a big problem or multiple problems to deal with. You have to tap into that fuel that just goes, oh, let's just fucking get it done. Shut the fuck up. Don't moan about it. Let's fucking go. Let's tap into that. And I believe there's different areas for different people, and you've really got to work this out yourself. You know, my drive, my fuel, if you like, comes from a few different areas. Number one is coming from a council estate, being raised by a single mum. It's always given me the drive to be an alpha male, a protector, a provider, and just not settling for less because you've come from nothing. You know, that drives me all the time. Number two, it's been people that have told me that you can't do something, especially people that were once very close to you and then they've basically said, you'll never fucking do this, you can't do this. And it just gives you an urge inside of you to be able to put your fingers up to people and go, fuck you, I can do it and I did do it. Fucking eat that, eat humble pie. You've got to tap into this. And equally, what drives me is always the fear of getting to the end of the line. I think we're all on borrowed time. We are all on borrowed time. It's facts of life. The time is ticking. No one's guaranteed a long life. No one knows when their time is going to be up. And my biggest regret would be to get on my deathbed and go, I didn't achieve everything I could have done. I didn't reach my full potential. That drives me more than anything. So those three things are the big things for you. But for you, work out what it is. You know, is it that someone bullied you at school? Someone told you you're a fucking waster? Someone told you can't do this, you can't do that? Is there someone you hate or a competitor that speaks shit about you? Or a family member that's pissed you off or let you down, or someone's, you know, absolutely just destroyed a relationship with you? You've got to tap into this and then like work out for you, like what's your actual big driver? Is it your kids? Is it your partner? Is it the things that you want? Is it material possessions? You know, and funny enough, on that, I did a poll the other week on my Instagram, it's at Dean Barton Real, saying what drives people, and money and material things was the least voted for thing. So it was money and material things was about 10% of the response. So what drives people? Money and material things was about 10%. Being known as the best or reputation was about 25%. Freedom was about 50%. People wanted freedom and being able to do what you want when you want. And I can't remember the last one. Can't remember what it was, but the split was interesting. It was very interesting to me and to work out what it is. And most people are looking for freedom and having choices in life, and that's all got a cost to it. So you've just got to work out what that freedom looks like to you, or what those material possessions look like to you. There's no right or wrong answer. Whatever drives you is unique to you. Who gives a fuck what anyone else thinks? You have to tap into that for you and go, right, what drives me? What do I actually really fucking want? And what's important to you as a person? And what's the reasons for giving you the fuel for doing that? Is it because someone said you'll never do that? Is it because someone's never believed in you? Is it because you went without as you were a kid? Have you got someone you want to prove wrong? Use it. Whatever you've got, use it. It's all unique to every single person. And then step 3, I think you need to really tap into, right, what's your actual dream? What's your actual vision for where you want to get to? Because you are not in a rehearsal. This is real life happening today and now. You have not got the time to fuck around. If you've got big goals and you haven't been achieving them, you just haven't got the time. The time is ticking, and you are going to get to a point where you get to a stage in life when you have run out of time. So be aware that time is ticking all the time. So what is your big goal? What is your dream? What is your vision for your own life? Is it the money, the material things? Is it being able to do certain things for your kids? Is it being able to do certain things for your family? Is it that freedom level that you need? You've got to work backwards and go, well, what does that look like? If you want freedom, you're going to need enough income coming in to be able to give you that freedom, and a business that allows you to do that. So you've got to work backwards. It's all going to cost. It's all going to cost money. But start with a dream. Forget about what it's going to cost for the minute. What is the dream? What is the vision? Where do you actually want to fucking be? You have to spend time doing this and looking ahead. And again, I recommend it massively. Go and spend some time on your own. No phone. Put your phone on airplane mode. no distractions, no nothing. What do you actually want for you? No comparison to anyone else. No looking on social media, looking at someone else's life and their highlight reel. Because look, trust me, social media just shows the best bits. It doesn't show all the bullshit that goes on. Doesn't show all the the crap that you go through day to day. It's not a reality thing. It's a false pretense of people's lives. And this is why one of my things next year, going into next year, is doing more content behind the scenes of going, right, this is what I actually do. These are the shit bits we've had to get through to get a business to a certain point, and actually showing the reality side of it all. But don't base what you want based on what you think someone else has got. Base it based on what you want for you and your family. You know what's really important to you and where you actually want to get to. You know what sort of house you want to live in. You know what sort of car you want to drive. You know what sort of holidays you want to go on. You know whether you want to send your kids to private school or not. You know what you really want to provide for your family. Just write all this shit down on a bit of paper. What does the dream actually look like for you? For someone, it's going to be a massive dream. For someone else, it's going to be very secure in an average sort of house, living a standard sort of life. You know, whatever it is for you, that's where you've got to get to, because otherwise you're going to be in a lost state of going, well, so-and-so's doing this and so-and-so's doing that. It's irrelevant. It is fucking irrelevant. It's whatever you want to do, whatever you want to achieve, wherever you want to get to, and being totally locked into that 1,000,000%. Because once you've then got the dream, you've got to work out what the cost is of that dream. What's the cost? What does it actually cost to get what you want? The house you want, the things you want to do for your kids. What's the tangible fixed cost? Because there is a cost to everything. There is a number ultimately you're going to get to that you need to achieve in monthly income, yearly profits, revenue that the business needs to do to allow that. You know, step 4 of this is the strategy. The strategy is the easy bit. The numbers is the easy bit. Anyone can do multiplication and subtraction. You don't need to be a genius at maths to work out right. If you want a particular style of life, what does it all cost? Research. What does the house cost? What is the mortgage payments going to be? What does the car cost? What's it going to cost? What does it cost to put your kids through certain schools? What does it cost to go on certain holidays? What does it cost to go to Disneyland? Research it. Get a number. Work out the life you actually want to lead. The things you actually want to have. What is the number that you need to hit? And then you can work backwards into your business. If you need to make 500 grand a year, you can work backwards and go, right, well, top line revenue, we need to be doing X amount. These are the overheads we're going to be having in the business. And that is going to result in a net profitability of the 500 grand. Your figure might be 100 grand, might be 200 grand, might be a million, might be 2 million, might be 5 million. It's unique to everyone. The strategy and the numbers is the easy bit of working back to that and going, right, where do you actually want to be? It's just a numbers game. It is literally just a numbers game. And then you know that whatever you're doing to do the current level of revenue you're doing, let's say you're doing £1 million in revenue now, you know how many leads that is, how many inquiries that is, you know how much marketing is needed to do that. If you want to then take that business to doing 5 million or 10 million, you know you need to 5 times or 10 times the tasks to spend, the overhead, the staff, in order to get to that. The strategy is a very simple bit. It's not difficult or complicated. If you know all your numbers, you know all your KPIs in a business, and you've got a system that works on a small level, you just have to do more of it to get to that level that you want to get to. But you don't know what that level is unless you tap into what you actually want and what's driving you, what's your goals to actually get there. Strategy is the easy bit. You know, the maths, the numbers, anyone can do that. You know, you don't need to be fucking clever to work out, well, if you've got 10 customers and that's giving you £1 million a year business and you want to get to a £10 million a year business, you need 100 customers. But you need to be able to build the resources, the team, the structure of the business to be able to handle that and do that, because it's very different along the way. You know, it's a lot bigger ship to run, and you're going to have to go through learning curves, recruitment, team building, different departments of the business, you know, bigger problems to solve. And this is what I mean. You're going to have to do different things. You have to solve different problems and tackle things differently to get to the next level of where you want to be. And you've got to understand that part of the game. You know, it's not an easy field out there. You're going to have to really work with yourself. Level 1, you're going to have to develop bigger skills. A lot of things that I've talked about in the podcast and the last episodes, you might want to go back to, of the skill sets that you need to grow a really decent business and get the life you want. But it's all just a game. Like, it is literally all just a game. So the strategy is the easy bit of working out that number, what you want. The next key part, the biggest key part 5 of this, is who do you need? everything is always going to come back to a specific person. So it's relationships with people, it's relationships with clients, it's relationships with key partners in the business, it's relationships with staff in the business. Who do you need to help you achieve your goal? Because none of us are experts in absolutely everything. If you're trying to hit big goals, you are more than likely going to need help or assistance or guidance from someone. So if you want to lose a lot of weight, if you want to get physically fit and you don't really know what you're doing, the obvious thing to do is go and get a personal trainer that tells you what to eat and puts you through all your training. So it's done. That's it. You haven't got to think about it because you've recruited expertise to do that. If you are trying to grow a massive business and it's way above your knowledge level and your skill set level, who do you need? What holes do you have in the business? Do you have a massive gaping commercial hole because you don't know the numbers, you don't know the figures in your business, you're not very astute at the commercial running and the finances of a business? Is that your hole? Or is it a marketing hole that you haven't got enough leads and inquiries coming in? You've got a massive gaping hole that you need more work. You can deliver more work. You need more input, more inflow of leads and customers wanting to buy. Is that your gaping hole in the business? What's your biggest bottleneck for you? Is it then moving on from that, the salesman ability of taking good quality leads and then converting them into business? Because if you get 100 leads come in, but you are useless at the pricing and selling stage and you're not converting those leads, that's your gaping hole. What's the bottleneck and who do you need? Who do you identify as your help and the person you go to actually help you get to that next level? Because you don't build businesses on your own. People build businesses. And the art is getting level 10 people in all the key positions of a business, because that's what grows a really good, decent team. You know, one level 10 person is better than 3 level 5s. If you get the people around you who are fucking shit hot at what they do, and they're there as your aid to get you to where you want to be, you will get there so much quicker. That's not complicated to understand. That is simple logics of life. If you want the best of the best and you get them in, you are going to get there so much quicker. You don't need to be a genius to understand that. So people are the key asset in any business or any goal you want to achieve. What people do you need in your corner? And to give you an example, like for me, so one of the key people in my corner is my accountant, a very switched on, very savvy accountant. Some of the stuff I'm looking at doing next year, buying businesses, investing in businesses, and merging companies together. I specifically chose my accountant because he's done a lot of that. He's an expert in doing that. He knows how to restructure businesses. He knows how to move things around. He knows how to refinance stuff, all of the whole shebang. He's very good, very clever at doing that. So that's a key reason why I went with that guy to do that, because expertise adds to my strength, my bow. He's a key person that I need for the bigger goal and bigger visions that I've got. Who do you need in your circle? If you've got average people doing average stuff for you, you're only going to get an average result. So you want to be going to the best people you possibly can. But then flip that, you need to look at who do you need to remove? Who do you actually need to move around the board or actually get off the board? Think about it like a chess game. If you've got players on your board who are below average, they're not good enough to be on your team, they're not good enough to help you get to where you want to get to, you've got to start looking at removing those people from your board and actually rejigging the setup. Again, back to sports, you can take a lot from it. Football teams change around all the time. Players lose their mojo, they lose their performance. Maybe you need to start removing people from your life, but it's friendship groups, maybe it's actual people in the business, maybe it's direct labour, maybe it's people in the office. Maybe you need to have a shake-up and a move around and going, are those people going to help you get to your goal? And start looking at it in that clear, non-emotional way, regardless of whether someone has worked for you for a long time, regardless of whether they're an old friend or whether they've been loyal to you. You have to be quite just cutthroat about this. This is the realities of it, Even if you like someone, if they're underperforming in their job, they're underperforming in the business, they cause you problems, you have to let them go. It's easier said than done. Trust me, I've experienced this. It's a horrible thing to have to do. But if you are carrying dead weight, it's always going to limit you. It's always going to hold you back in the business. So if someone's just not performing, they're not up to scratch, you've got to handle that and deal with that. And that is going to be one of the biggest unlocks that you do going into next year, is just removing the dead weight and the wrong people in your corner. You know, if you, for yourself, your business, you try and get hold of your accountant all the time, you can't get hold of them. They're late on stuff. They don't remind you about stuff. They haven't got your best interest in heart. They're not pre-warning you of your tax liabilities and helping you save money. It's a red flag that maybe you need to upgrade to a bigger, better, smarter accountant. If you've got project managers or contracts managers in the business and jobs are going slightly wrong, that they're being delivered over budget, they are being delivered over time, and it's a repetitive thing that keeps happening. Exactly what I said. Step one, review the year, do it at all levels, the business, yourself, your whole personal life. You need to have a discussion with those people and work out what's the root cause. Are you giving them enough help and giving them the right system to work to, or are they just not good enough for the business and for the job that they're doing? And setting the target and setting a plan of removing those people. So once you understand, right, who do you need to remove? What I like to do going into a new year, this is how I operate all the time, is, right, let's break down your year. You've got your big goals and where you want to get to, and you've got your targets, but just break that down now into the first 90 days. So literally have in mind the big goals and the targets, but what thing are you going to tackle the next 90 days? So from 1st of January to the end of March, what are you going to complete and what are you going to tackle first? And the way to do that is identify your biggest problem, your biggest bottleneck, whatever it is for you, identify that and focus purely on that. Forget all the other little problems you've got, because as a business owner, you are going to have multiple problems at one time. But what I found has worked is, right, pick the worst one, pick the biggest headache or the biggest opportunity for you to grow. Just pick that and focus purely on that for the next 90 days. Don't do or touch anything else. Just isolation and focus and clarity on one problem, whether you're trying to solve a marketing problem, a growth problem, a leadership problem, a training problem, or you are trying to tap into a new market of business, whether it's commercial work or it's a new social media platform to generate leads or revenue, whatever it is. Focus purely on that one thing for the next 90 days and go all in on that one thing. You will get so much further ahead if you do that, because you imagine you're going to do that through 4 cycles through the year. So cycle 1, 1st of Jan to the end of March, one problem, one area, one thing to deliver on, one thing to focus on. First 90 days of the year, that's it. And then work back the tactical steps and what you need to do that and hit that. Then once you get to the end of March, you start looking at the next 90 days and going, right, do we need to do another 90 days on that? Is there more work to be done? Or do we move on to the next problem that's naturally going to happen and come up through the business anyway? And just breaking it down, right, 4 blocks of the year. For you now, work out, right, what are you focusing on 1st of January to the end of March? What's your main key area of focus? Because focus will be the biggest unlock for you, and being absolutely just locked on to solving one thing, one problem. And you just got to identify what that problem is and what that opportunity is and lock onto it. That is going to give you so much more speed than dabbling at trying to solve 5 or 6 things and spending 10% of your time on each one or 20% of your time on each one. Whereas if you spend 100% of your time on one problem, you will solve it a lot quicker than doing it the other way. So identify that thing and just solve it and plan out your next 90 days. That is going to be the easiest, smartest, quickest way for you to get ahead and carry that through into 2024, and then you start getting momentum. So I hope that's been useful, guys. To finish that up, look, I am looking to invest or partner in a serious business, which most important part of that is the person has to be a solid egg, a really good, decent person. If you're listening to this and you go, you know you've got more in you, you know you've got more capability, you know you've got more potential in the business, you really want to blow it up. You are not a new starter, you're already in business, you're doing at least a minimum of £1 million a year in revenue, and you understand the power and the benefit of being partnered with someone or having someone come in with a fresh pair of eyes to actually really take the business to the next level. And I mean taking a business way past 8 figures and really blowing it up. I'm looking for that one person. There's not many of you out there. I'm looking for that one solid person that goes, do you know what? I really want to go to the whole new level, and you want me to come on board, whether that's investing money, time, experience, whatever it is for the business. That is what I'm looking for in 2024. So if that's you, drop me a DM on Instagram. It's at Dean Barton Real, and we can just have a serious confidential chat and go, right, how could we actually do this? Has the business got potential? Could we work together? The most important thing is the person. You've got to be a decent, solid person yourself. You've got to be very, very good for me to want to go into business with you or do a deal with you. And then it's the business, and we can analyse the business and work out a strategy for that and go to a whole new level whatsoever. So if that's you, drop me a DM. It's at Dean Barton Real, like I say. But that is it for this episode. The next episode I'll be seeing you will be in the new year. I hope you have a fantastic new year, and I will see you then.